All right, and we are recording. So, and again, I do apologize for my laryngitis. I am getting over the cold. Everybody's sick right now, so I did not get looked over by all the illness that's going around. So, hopefully, my sexy transvestite voice will be understandable. If you guys have questions throughout, I might ask that you guys just kind of, as you're taking notes, to kind of write down your questions, and then once we're done going over everything, I can have you guys ask your questions all at once, and that way we don't get bogged down and sidetracked by questions, because I have lots of squirrel moments. So it's kind of good that all of you have like your cameras off, so I don't have to be distracted by everybody's like facial expressions and how cute everybody looks. So so this is our 2017 Goal Crushers goal planning workshop kickoff, whatever you want to call it. So this was partly inspired by some thinking that I had been doing, and also an article that I had read recently that talked about focusing our goals more on action steps rather than numbers. Okay, so I think, especially in this business, the more you do this business, the longer you do it, it gets very easy to get sucked into this focus of the numbers only, and I'm going to hit these sales goals, I'm going to hit these recruiting goals, and I'm going to win this trip, and I'm going to, have this many parties. And that's all well and good. But the unfortunate thing and the difficult thing with making your goals focused on those kinds of numbers is that there's so much that's not in your control, and it's easy to get really discouraged. When you're trying to focus on hitting goals that really are not in your control. I'm sure we have all had those situations, that moment where we're like, I want to book 5 parties, for the coming month. And, you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and you're making the phone calls and you're offering the parties and, whatever. And then, the month comes and goes, and you look back and you realize that you fell short of your goal. Well, part of that is because you can't control, you can control what you do, but you can't control, what other people are going to say and how they're going to react to it, right? You can wrap your party and your hostess incentives and your sign-on bonuses and whatever in the prettiest package and the prettiest bow, and you will still have people that say no. And that's just the nature of the beast. That's not, anything specific to our business. That's just, people will tell you no if they want to tell you no. So, and hearing that kind of no and falling short of those numbers goals can be really, really discouraging, especially for people that are just brand new, who really want to, get off to a great start, and you just be like, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to book all these parties, I'm going to make all this money, and then you're like, oh, but I didn't make this money that I thought I was going to, or I didn't book as many parties as I wanted to. Or if you've been in business a really, really long time, and you're at this point where you're like, well, gee, I should be doing better, and my numbers should look better than what they look like now for how long I've been in business. People that are kind of in the middle, haven't really, they kind of, for some reason, don't feel that same way exactly. Hey, Lori Sue, go ahead and mute yourself if you could, please. Thank you. So I really wanted to kind of do this and walk you guys through this, so that as we're setting our goals and as we're going forward into 2017, that we're making sure we're doing things that we 100% have control over, so we're not getting discouraged. Or if we are getting discouraged, we can at least look and see where we had the issue, right? We can look and see, well, did I do what I was supposed to do? And if not, why not? And how can I change it? Or if yes, I did do what I was supposed to do, then I can take pride in that and I can be excited about that. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of different tools that Pure Romance Corporate Office has provided for us, okay? And we're going to talk about setting goals in different areas of our life. Really, for the purpose of this Zoom, we're going to focus mostly on, business stuff, Pure Romance stuff, bookings and sales and team building. But everything that we're going to kind of talk about is going to be applicable to whatever other goals that you have for yourself. And I do encourage you guys to set goals in all areas of your life, because other areas of your life are important. You're a whole human being, and you don't want business to be that, you know, this consuming thing to the neglect of your other priorities in your life. So, if you wanted to go ahead and write this down, some categories that you might want to make some goals for yourself in. Getting parched already. So the categories that I set my goals for, and you can use these same categories. You can come up with other categories. You can call them whatever you want. You know, it's your goals. I had financial, I had spiritual, health, so physical health for me, business, fun, educational, and intellectual goals. And what you will notice as you are going through these and setting all these goals is that a lot of these categories can tend to overlap. Like I can give it a quick example, like my educational goals, you know, to go for a certification that I'm looking to go for, you know, I have to be able to afford tuition for the program. So that ties back into my financial goals. So when I'm creating my financial goals and my action steps, you know, I'm taking that into consideration so I can plan for it. So there's no stone left unturned, right? I know exactly what this plan is. And as we're going through this, you're going to see like this really is meant to be a step-by-step roadmap for your whole year, right? So you always know at every moment what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Okay, now the tools that we're going to be using to focus on business stuff is the 2017 rewards guide. So everybody should have gotten this in the mail. And if you are a brand new consultant, like you just started, welcome to the team. And if you haven't gotten your kit yet, this will, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in your kit. So you'll have this. So don't worry if you don't have this yet. Okay. Now, the reason I want to look at this, that I'm asking you guys to look at this, is because it has all the different excuse me, incentives. So if there are specific incentives that you want to go for, or there are, you know, levels that you want to promote to, this is going to tell you exactly the numbers that you need to hit to do it. Okay, so I'm trying to think what. Okay, so yeah, so those, so like for example, the levels. Okay, so this is page, for those of you that have yours in front of you, this is page 10 and 11. Okay, and so it lays out in the chart all the different levels that you can promote to as a consultant with Pure Romance, and it tells you, you know, your buying discount, how much, you know, the percentage of commission you make on your team, your downline at each level, your monthly lifestyle bonus. Okay, so I included lifestyle bonuses into part of my goals because that's just what part of my goals were. And then it tells you how many you need to have in each level in order to reach whatever level that it is that you're going for over here. Okay, and then at the very end, the sales minimums. Okay, so if you're looking at that and you're like, oh my God, like I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I, as you know, an advanced consultant or a senior consultant, even like plan to try and like hit any of these other levels? Like, there's just so much going on to keep track of. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to help you break that down. Okay, but we're going to come back to that. Okay, so that's the different levels. Now, of course, now the next page, 13, talks about our different positions of prestige. Okay, so you see here we have the senior board of directors, and there's 3 different ways that you can actually hit that, and then board of directors, and then president's club. Okay, so if you are looking to hit any of these, you know, go ahead and make sure, like, write it down right now or make some sort of a note about it, so that way when we get to that part, you can kind of start breaking it down a little bit. Okay. So now the next page, it talks about some of the other bonuses that you can get. Hey, Sam, go ahead and mute yourself if you could, please. Let's see. So I'm just reviewing this really quick. Okay, so really we want to look at the retail sales bonus and the superstar bonus. Hey, Summer Rain. Hopefully it's not confusing. It says Peer Survivors on here twice. Okay, so page 15 has the different bonuses and other incentives that you can get. So retail sales bonus and the superstar bonus are the two that I really want to focus on the most for this. But the free product bonus too is pretty important as well. But for the retail sales bonus, every $10,000 in sales you do a month, you're going to get a 2.5% cash back bonus. So I don't know if you guys need that, right? So you can actually, so say you're at 40% buying discount, right? And you do $10,000 in sales. Not only did you just make $4,000 in, profit, but you're also going to get, right, that's my math, but you're also going to get an additional 2.5% back of that $10,000 added on to your $4,000 in profit that you just made. And then for the whole year, if you hit $100,000 in sales for the year, you get another 2.5% cash back bonus as well. So that's more cash that corporate is putting in your pocket. So, make sure you're aware of that, because if that's a goal you want to hit, if you're basing your goals on actual profit and income, that's something important for you to know. Then there's the superstar bonus, which is the $12,000 cash bonus, right? They just give you $12,000, like, here, have some extra money. And the actual specifics for that one are actually laid out in the IRG. So that's the incentive requirements guide, which you can get the full PDF version on the COO. You just log into the COO and search IRG or incentive requirements guide. It's going to pull that up. So you can actually look and see exactly what it is you need to do to hit the superstar bonus, okay? So these are just some of the different things that you can hit within your business. Okay, now finally, the last one we're gonna look at. Okay. So the last ones are gonna be the cruises. So yeah, I know they did cruises. I'm so excited. All right, so look, I love the way the company does this. So they break it down based on your level. So you are only competing against other women who are at your level. You're not competing against women who have been in business for 15 years who have different skills and experience than you. So you're actually competing with other women who have the same exact skills and experience you do. Okay, and so for the different levels, the different cruises, there are, it tells you what it is that you need to do to hit each incentive. Okay, so make sure you're aware of that. And then the same for, and so they're also doing another cruise too. So the very last page outlines the incentive or the requirements for the other cruise. Okay, so if you are going for any of those incentives, go ahead and either put a sticky tab or highlight it or make a note somewhere so you can come back to it and you can have it, you know exactly where it is that you need to reference when you start doing these numbers. Okay, now, so the next thing you want to do, so you picked out all these incentives, right? So if you're going for incentives, you have those. Now, with your business, you have to decide if you have other financial goals with your business, okay? So for my business, I'm going to tell you what I have, right? And so you can kind of have an idea of how you might want to do it. You can do it differently. It's entirely up to you. But for my business goals, let me see here. Okay, my business goals were mostly financial. So I wanted to be debt-free. Okay. I want to be debt-free by the end of the year. So I want to be able to use my income, my Peer Romance income, to be completely debt-free. And I'll tell you right now, if you want an idea of how I'm breaking down these numbers, I have $31,154 left of debt that I'm going to pay off in the next, 367 days. Okay, so I'm setting big goals for myself. And if you're like, holy crap, can she really do? Yes, It can be done, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay, when I break down these numbers for you, I'm gonna show you how. But your goal doesn't have to be that insane. Like, don't look at my goals and be like, well, I can't do that. Okay, this is mine. Make it based on yours. You make your business do for you what you want it to. Okay, so I wanted to be debt free. Let's see, and then I also wanted to be able to promote back to my, so for those of you that don't know, I'm technically not a director by title. I have the downline for director, but they're roll-ups, so they don't count. So I want to have the actual title of director again by the end of February. I want to be advanced director by the end of May. And yeah, that's it. Okay. So you could just kind of have your goals. So if you can have your promotion goals, you can have your income goals, debt management goals, whatever, okay? So you're not only going to use the rewards guide to help you, but, so here's the other tool that we're gonna look at. Let me pull this up. So there's two other tools. I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can hopefully see. Okay, so hopefully you guys can all see this. So this is a PDF that I got from the COO, and I will upload this into the event afterwards so that you guys can all have access to it. This really just breaks down, it helps you to break down the numbers a little bit. Okay, so, and we're gonna get to the action step part, because I know I said like we're not really setting our goals based on numbers, but we do need to have an idea of the numbers that it is that we want to reach, so that way we can put into, have these action steps ready to go. Okay, so in this on this form here, it just breaks, there's 3 boxes here. Hopefully you guys can see that, okay? And these are just examples. It kind of shows you how to do the math so you can reach each of these goals, okay? So these are just examples. And then for you, you would actually go in here and put in your numbers so that it matches what it is that you want. So if you're at a 40% buying discount, 45%, 50%, whatever, you would put your buying discount here, okay? You would put in however many parties you would like to hold, and your party average. And if you're brand new and you don't know your party average yet, you can just put in the company average, which is $500 per party. And then as you start doing parties, you can adjust that number once you know, once you know what your actual party average is. Okay, and that'll tell you, so however many parties times your party average. Oh, what happened? The line just showed up. I'm drawing on my screen. That's gonna show you how much retail that you're doing, right? That's gonna show you your total retail for the month, right? The retail for your month multiplied by your discount is going to show you your profit. So say you do, let's just do this easy math, right? So you say you do only 2 parties. You only want to do 2 parties in a month. At a $500 party average, that's $1,000 in retail. If you're at a 40% buying discount, right? So at a 40% buying discount at $1,000 a month, that's going to be $400 of profit a month. Okay, and then you take that profit, 400 times 12. And that's going to be whatever that number is. That should be really easy now, but it's okay. And then it takes it a step further and shows the leads and stuff. Okay, so this is really just a quick worksheet for those of you that need kind of like that guidance. You just plug and play the numbers. Okay, so that is one tool that you can use to kind of help figure out what numbers you want to hit. The other tool is going to be the the business plan, and oh no, come on, here we go. Oh, what happened? Screen sharing is paused. Resume. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, guys, sorry. All right, having technical difficulties again. So the business plan. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. There, okay, so this is the business plan, and you can find this when you log onto the COO. you're going to go to My Business, all the way down to My Business Plan. How many of you knew this was even here? Some of you who've been in for like months or a year, you're probably like, I've never even heard of this. Okay, so this actually does all the math for you. It's fantastic. So again, it automatically assumes the corporate average for party sales, which is $500. You can adjust this based on your party average. So if it's a little bit lower, a little bit higher, you can just move that around to wherever. Okay, and this is how much would you like to make? Okay, so how much profit would you like to make every month or per year? You can adjust it however you want. So if you only want to do $2,000 a profit every single month, you're going to leave it, hit generate new plan. You scroll down and it tells you everything that you need to do. It tells you how many calls each week you need to do. These are prospecting calls. So these are people that you're reaching out to to say, hey, would you like to do a party or whatever? Okay, how many parties you need to have for the month. And that'll show you your retail and your profit. Now, if you're wondering why some numbers, like for some months it's higher or lower, they adjust this based on the season. So, at the very beginning of the month or the year, it's a little bit busier, and then in the summer it tends to slow down a little bit, and then towards the end of the year it picks up a little bit again. So this actually shows you, it goes with the season, the seasonal changes. So this gives you an idea of, and then once you're done, once you set it and adjust all the numbers however you want, you can actually email a copy to yourself and then send a copy to your sponsor as well. So that way your sponsor knows what your goals are and what it is that you're working on, and she can touch base with you to help keep you on track. Okay, so that is the numbers part. I'm going to stop this share here. Okay, so now comes for the hard part. Okay, so remember how I said I did that little teaser video, went live the other night? Okay, this really is not for the faint of heart. And you guys, I guarantee you, if you are serious about your goals, you are not going to be able to figure this all out tonight here on the Zoom. Okay, you're going to have to spend a couple days over the next couple days breaking it all down and figuring it out, what it is that you want to do, especially if you're doing goals in various areas of your life and not just your business. Okay, but here's how I did it. Okay, so you figure out the numbers. You start with the numbers to begin with. So for me, my goal is to be debt free. So I know what that number is. I wrote down that number, $31,000. That's how much minimum I need to have a profit in my pocket for the year. Okay. And I broke it down into smaller chunks too, because if you look at some of these numbers when they're really big, it could be very overwhelming, and you could be like, I don't know how I'm even going to reach that. But when you break it down by week, by month, and sometimes even by day, those numbers are a lot smaller and they're way, way more manageable. So I took mine a step further, and I know how much I need to pay for my debt each month, $2,596 per month. Doesn't that sound a lot less scary? Oh yeah, see, Lori Sue says daily breakdown has really helped me. Oh my gosh, it makes it so much easier. So yeah, so $2,596 a month is way less scary and way more manageable than saying 31,000. Somehow I'm going to hit this crazy number. Okay, but I also broke it down. I took it a step further. I broke it down for the week. So that's going to be $649 a week. Okay, give or take, in 5 cents. Okay, but okay, so I figured it out. So I just broke it down by week because really that's going to be the most manageable. Because sometimes if you break it down too small, it gets to be overwhelming again. Because if you're like, well, I need to pay off this much a day, and circumstances, sometimes it's just not possible. It's just not reasonable. So make sure your goals are a little bit of a stretch, but not crazy overwhelming. But also make sure that they're reasonable for you too, okay? Because you don't want to set this huge goal for yourself only, to not be able to reach it because it's just so far out there for you right now, okay? Doesn't mean you'll never get there. It just means you need to make sure your goals are reasonable for you. Okay, so once I figured out how much a week I needed to do in profit, I figured out what that meant for my sales. Okay, so let's put this in terms of your income, right? Say you want to make $1,000 a month. Okay, so you would break that down by week. You want to earn $250 a week, right? Is that right? Yeah, $250 a week. I didn't go to school for math. That's why I sell vibrators. Okay, so you know you want to earn $250 a week. Okay, so then, I mean, you could even break that down into days if you wanted to, but I think by the week is probably easiest for this translation. So you have to figure out what you would need to hit in sales for the week to reach that number. Okay, does that make sense? And if I'm not making sense, you can just make a note, and then when we open it up for questions, you can be like, Andrea, go back to that other thing you said because that made no sense. Okay, and that how much you have to do in sales is going to be different for everybody because everybody's at a different buying discount. Okay, so if you were at a 40% discount, I don't even know what that would be. So if somebody wants to type it, you can. But like at a 50% buying discount, that would be $500 in sales per week to hit that $250 in profit per week, which would ensure that you're hitting your $2,000 in sales for the month and $1,000 in profit for the month. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, so for me, so I broke it down by the week. I knew how much how much I needed to be able to pay, or basically profit, for the week. I knew how much in sales I had to do for the week to reach that number, and then I knew I rounded. I worked back up. I worked it back the other way, so I knew how much in sales I need to do for the month to hit that goal. Okay, Stephanie, go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so for me, that ended up being about $6,380 a month in sales to be able to reach my goal of being able to pay off $2,596 in debt per month. Hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. Lori Sue is the only one on camera, so I can't see what any of your other faces are, so hopefully you guys are nodding and being like, yes, this makes sense. Okay, now, all right, let's see here. So the other thing I went ahead and did too is, so not only do I want to be able to pay off debt, but I also have other bills. Let's see, is it better with faces? Either way, I would probably be distracted either way. Yeah, Lori Sue asked if it would be more distracting with faces or with no faces. I just hope that you guys are not confused. So my other goal, right? So, and again, your goals are going to be different. My other goal was to also be able to pay bills. Okay, so my life is not just paying off debt. I also have bills that I need to pay. So I had to figure out what those were too. So I pulled up all my accounts, my bank account, credit card, or not credit card, because credit card is debt, phone bill, gas bill, electric bill. So, and I encourage you guys to do this too. So if you're using your pure earnings income as money to pay off your bills, to live by, to take care of your expenses, you need to know what those expenses are. Okay, so this is also part of budgeting class. Okay, so you need to know where it is that your money is going to go, and go ahead and pull those up, make a list, write it down, write down how much each bill is every single month, and most of them should be within, about the same. Sometimes they fluctuate a little, like energy bill does, and depending on the season, but for the most part, you're going to be able to have a general idea of how much things usually cost. If you have rent or a mortgage payment, go ahead and factor that in too. So that's what I did, and I figured out what my expenses were for the month, and I figured out how much in sales I needed to do for the month to hit that number, if that makes sense. So we have two categories here: debt, my debt, because my goal is to be debt free, and then expenses, which is just regular bills. Okay, debt, I figured out how much do I need to do by week to pay off debt each week, and I did how much profit, and then how much in sales I needed to hit to get that profit, and then the same for my expenses. Okay, so I know how much I have to pay for my bills, and I know how much in sales I have to hit to have that as profit for my bills. And I added those numbers together. And I figured out I need to have a minimum of $10,000 in sales every single month to not only be able to completely be debt-free by the end of 2017, but also maintain paying my bills and not having my phone shut off. Okay, so And then I also went a step further and I factored in my educational goals because, again, tuition for my certification is something that's relevant. So if you're going to school or you're taking a class or whatever, you might want to factor that into your financial goals as, you know, as part of your business goals when you're figuring out these numbers, and just add that in. And again, find out what that number is, how much it costs, how much do you need to sell to reach that number. Okay, and based on your buying discount. And what's the beautiful thing about this too is you're going to see, like, once we get these action steps going, as you promote within your business, the amount of work you're going to have to do will actually be less. Okay, so if you're doing these things consistently, and we're about to talk about that in just a second here, you're going to one of two things will happen. One, you're going to end up making way more money than you actually planned for, because your consistency is going to allow your business to grow. So you're still going to keep doing these same things, but because you are earning a higher percentage of your sales and your team is bigger, you're actually pulling in more money for the same amount of work that you're going to start doing at the beginning of January. Or you're going to be able to say, I feel comfortable kind of taking a little bit of a step back and not having to do as much work, because, you know, I will still be able to earn what I was earning before because my commission is higher and my team is bigger. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so, and you can choose either one of those options. There's no right or wrong option. It's whatever works best for you. So here comes the action step part. Okay, so once you've figured out what those numbers are that you want to hit, I want you to just kind of write them down, kind of make a note. But once you get these action steps written down, you hide those, you put those numbers away because you're not even going to look at them, okay? Because those numbers won't matter. I know you're like, what? But you just told me to write down all these numbers. But the numbers are important because you need to know what your destination is, okay? So once we have that destination in mind, we're going to be able to Google map it, right? You're going to be able to know which way to turn, which streets to take, which path to go in order to hit that number. But you know that as long as you're staying on that route, that path, the destination you're going to get to. So you don't even need to worry about that, okay? So here's the next step. So once you get the finances and the money all broken down and your sales and whatever, and again, your sales will be dependent on if you're going for incentives, if you're trying to pay off debt, whatever it is, okay? Because everybody is different. So I broke it down. So I went back and I used that little tool, right? And I figured $500 party average. Okay, let's just assume I'm having a $500 party average. So for the sales that I need to hit each month, based on, which is $10,000, at a $500 party average, I need to do 12 parties a month. Okay, well, actually I need to do more than 12 parties, but I wanted to actually separate out outside sales from my parties, okay? Because I didn't want to party my whole life away. As much as I love doing parties, they do get exhausting when you're partying 3, 4, 5 times a week, okay? You might choose to base your sales entirely off of your party, what you do at parties, and that's totally fine. Or you might want to base your sales entirely off of just collecting outside orders. Like for the month of December, all I did was collect outside orders. I did not do a single party. I collected probably like $2,000 in outside sales. Okay, so it's entirely up to you how you want to do it and how you want to balance it. Okay, you just have to figure out what's going to work best for your goals and your life and your work-life balance, and your family balance, and all of that. Okay, so for me, I wanted to break it down by parties and by outside sales. So I wanted to collect about $6,000 in sales from my parties. So for me to do that at a $500 party average, I would need to do about 12 parties. Now, I would like to collect this is my goal, $1,000 a week in outside orders for $4,000 a month total. Okay, and that number altogether is going to be the $10,000 in sales that I need. Okay, so when I was figuring my parties, I'm going to allow for 14 parties, okay, because you have to allow for cancellation. So if you want to hold 2 parties a month, you need to book at least 3. If you want to hold 5 parties a month, you should probably book about 7 or 8. okay? If you want to hold 10 parties, you should probably book somewhere between 13 and 14, okay? So you really have to allow for those cancellations. And if nobody cancels, hooray, extra money in your pocket, okay? So when I did mine, here's how, like you see, this is like such a crazy mess. Okay, when I wrote it down, whoops, where did I write it down here? Okay, so $500, I don't know if you guys can see it. Whoa, my chair's falling apart here. It's all like, right, and then I wrote it in parentheses somewhere here. I don't know, whatever. On there, I wrote 12 or 14, and then in parentheses, I wrote 12, so that I knew that I was shooting to book 14, but really it would be okay if I had to cancel. Okay, so here's where we get to the action steps. So ultimately, we know in order to reach the numbers goals, we have to have a certain number of parties and we have to have a certain amount in outside sales. Now, you can ask everybody until you're blue in the face and beg and plead. You know, people are still going to tell you no. You can't control what they do. What you can control is what you do. Okay, and consistency is the biggest key in this business. If you are consistent in your actions and what you do in your business every single day, your income, your parties, your bookings, your sales, your recruiting will all be consistent. You won't have to worry about trying to play catch up at the end of the month or at the end of the 60-day period to place a minimum order, because you've been doing exactly what it is that you need to do all along. Okay, so let's start by parties. Okay, so for those of you that are like, I want to do a certain number of parties to hit this sales goal or whatever, okay, go ahead and take some notes on this. So for me, right, when I wanted to have 12 to 14 parties a month, this is based on, so I had to sit down and think about what are the actions that I can do that are going to ensure that I have these parties. What are the things that I can do every single day that are in my control, right? So when we say you have to do everything you can do to make this happen, okay? So this is excluding, I don't care what anybody else says or does or what the reaction is going to be, because I know that I'm doing what I set out to do. And so these are my real goals. This is my actual goal. These numbers will just be a nice side effect. But I'm really going to focus, and I encourage you guys to focus throughout the year on making your goal these action steps. Or, well, not these specific ones, whatever ones are going to work for you to hit your numbers. Hopefully I'm making sense. I feel like I'm like all over the place here. Okay, so for me, so when you're trying to book parties, there's a couple of factors. How many people you offer the party opportunity to. So how many women are you asking to have a party? And how many women or how many parties you want to hold is going to determine how many people you're asking, okay? Because the more people you ask, the more you're raising your chances of people saying yes to you, okay? So this is playing the numbers. This is stacking the odds in your favor, because this is partly a numbers game, okay? It's also offering the party opportunity to people at a party, and it's also asking people for referrals, which actually that was my husband's idea. I hadn't originally factored in referrals, but when I was going over my goals with him, and for those of you that have a partner or spouse, whatever, get them on board with your goals. Break these numbers down. Show them, like, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to hit with my business. And when you can break down the action steps for them, they're going to be much more inclined to kind of back you up and to support you, because they can actually see, especially men, they like that evidence. They can actually see what it is you're planning to do, and they can actually be more supportive that way. But so my husband was like, well, how many referrals are you going to ask for? I hadn't even thought about it. So I included referrals as well. And then also asking every no at a party, okay? So specifically, here's what I wrote specifically. I'm going to offer a party to 5 people a day outside of parties. This is not including, so if I have a party that day, I'm still going to be asking 5 people outside of party to have a party. So this is basically 35 people a week that I'm asking to have a party. Okay, and so again, your numbers will change based on your goals, so you don't have to make these numbers, my numbers, your numbers, Okay, keep that in mind. The other action step is I'm going to offer a party to every guest at the party. So everyone that comes in the shopping room and everyone that doesn't come in the shopping room, because I always get their contact information before the end of my demonstration. So if they have to leave early, I already have their number. And so I can call them or text them and follow up and be like, I know you weren't able to stay. Would you like to have a party? So I'm offering a party to every guest at the party. I'm also asking 5 people a day. So 135 people, no, I'm sorry, 35 people a week for referrals. So, and what's good about this is that the people that tell you no when you offer them a party, you can automatically turn that into a referral and say, no problem. Who do you know that I need to know? Who do you know that would be like a really great hostess? Like, I know you're too busy right now, or you're not interested right now. That's fine. I still have some free product I can give you. Your neighbor, does she want to have a party? Your mom, does she want to have a party? So you're asking those people for referrals. And then my other action step is ask every person that tells me no in the shopping room for a party referral. Okay, so those are going to be, so you're asking people directly if they want to have a party, and you're asking them also for referrals. Okay, so my goal is to do this on a consistent basis every single day. And I know that as long as I'm doing that, I'm going to reach my goal of having 12 to 14 parties a month. It's just going to be the inevitable side effect. And so it's so much easier when I go back at the end of the day, the week, the month, whatever, and I say, okay, did I reach my goal? Yes, because I can look and see I asked 35 people to have a party this week. And I can feel good about that, right? But if my goal was to say, I'm going to book 3 parties this week, and I'm asking everybody, or I feel like I'm asking everybody, and all I got is no, 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 I didn't book any parties, but I set this goal for myself. It can feel very discouraging. Okay, so that is why we base these goals on action steps rather than hitting the numbers. Okay, hey Emily, go ahead and mute yourself for me, please. Thank you. Okay, so now I based my parties. So we're breaking this down even further. Okay, because there's, like I said, this is going deep. I based these numbers on a $500 party average, but even that's not a given, is it? Right? You go into a party. No, I'll go up. Okay, so just had a string of like terrible parties in the past couple of weeks. So basing this on a $500 party average, $500 party average, and again, your party average might be higher, yours might be a little bit lower. It's whatever it is you want to shoot for. Okay. But again, we know those numbers are not a gift. You walk into that party, you can be feeling confident as hell, and you're like, I'm gonna rock out a $3,000 party because there's 50 women here and everybody loves these products, and I know these women are gonna have so much fun. And you walk out of that party and you sold 1 bottle of Coochie. Is that not like the worst? Like, that sucks. We hate that, but it happens to literally everyone. Okay. But now there are things you can do on a consistent basis to ensure that happens less and less, and that you're more likely to have those higher party averages. Okay, but again, it's all about consistency and making your goal hitting those action steps. Okay, so instead of making your goal having that party sale number, right, and then you walk out of that party and your sales were lower than you wanted, and now you feel like crap and like a terrible consultant because you didn't hit that number. Well, let's not make that your goal. Let's make your hostess coaching and the steps that we're going to talk about just now your goal. Okay, so party sales really comes down to hostess coaching. Okay, so for myself, I made a 17-step hostess coaching setup. Okay, yours might be more or less depending on, again, your goals and how much effort you want to put into your hostess coaching. Okay, so when I wrote mine down, I wrote it down, hostess coaching, and then I flipped it over and I wrote out everything that I'm going to do to hostess coach. Okay, and I can share this with you. I'll post this in the event afterwards. Excuse me. So if you want kind of something to follow, you can use that. Okay, the next thing for reaching this party average is I want to have 10 plus guests, at least 10 guests at every single party. Okay, so what can I do to ensure that my hostess does that? Well, I need to offer her a bonus. I need to offer a bonus to my hostess when she reaches that. Okay, so again, I'm focusing on what I can do to make that happen. Because again, I can't ensure my hostess is going to do anything. I can't ensure people are going to cancel at the last second. But I can say I did everything that I could to make this happen. And when it comes to hostess coaching, it's offering her a bonus. It's maybe finding out what she is willing to do. Like, what does she want in exchange for those 10 shopping guests? You know, you can totally bribe your hostess. You could be like, look, I want you to have 10 people at your party. If you do that, what do you want me to give you? Like, I'll give you anything. What do you want? Okay. And when she knows that she's getting something that she really wants, she's going to work harder to get that. Okay. So you can base that however you want. I also want to get at least three outside orders. Okay, great. So I'm including outside orders as part of my overall party total. So again, that comes down to offer a bonus at the party for 3 pre-party orders. So if my hostess gets 3 outside orders, I'll be like, I'm going to give you a Basic Instinct or a free bottle of Gucci or $50 extra to spend at your party, whatever you want to make it. Okay, again, that's going to be up to you. And then, of course, encouraging all the guests to bring friends. Okay. And then I just broke down, again, my hostess coaching plan. So hopefully this is making sense to you guys. Do you see how I'm breaking this into steps that I control, that I can do? And these are the things that I'm going to do every single day, every single party, every single time to make sure that I'm hitting my goal. And as long as I'm doing these things, one, I can feel good that I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for my business. I'm going to be making money. And 2, I don't have to worry about, did I sell this much or did I do whatever, because that's ultimately not the goal. The goal is to be consistent in my business, because the natural side effect will be the money that I'm looking for, the income or profits or sales or whatever. Okay, so hopefully that is making sense. Now for recruiting, So for my outside orders, okay, so again, you want to break down the action steps to get those outside orders, because sometimes people aren't just going to call you out of the blue and, you know, spend $500. Yay, somebody says it makes sense. That's good. I'm glad somebody's understanding me. Okay, so for the outside orders, again, so my personal goal was $1,000 a week in outside orders. So what am I going to do? So Ashley Livermore has a really great follow-up system. And so I based mine partially off of what she does. So for week 1 of the month, I'm going to message everybody, or I'm going to reach out, text, call, however your people like to be reached. So, and make sure when you're reaching out to your people, you're reaching out to them how they want to be reached out. Okay? If they love the phone, I don't care if you have a panic attack every time you pick it up. You damn well better be calling her, okay? Because that's how she likes to communicate. And if you want to reach her where she is, you need to do what makes her feel good, okay? So that's my tip there, okay? So week 1, first week of the month, I'm opening up Facebook. I'm looking under the events calendar, and it will show you all of your friends' birthdays that month. And if you're friends with your clients on Facebook, and you should be, you'll see your clients have birthdays coming up. So you can reach out to them and be like, yo, I saw it's your birthday month. Happy birthday. I wanted to offer you $10 to spend with me on anything you want in the catalog this month as like a birthday thank you. Or if you got nothing going on for your birthday, I'm going to turn that $10 into $25 if you have a birthday party with me. Which one works better for you? Okay, so I'm going to reach out to everybody in that month. This is the first week of the month. Week 2. I'm going to reach out to the people that shopped with me 6 months ago and see who needs refills. Okay? So these are going to be people that are like, oh yeah, I'm out of Gucci now. I do need to reorder. And as your client list gets bigger, you're going to have more people to reach out to, and you're going to get more refills and more reorders, and that's going to really boost your outside orders. Week 3 and week 4 is going to be follow-up from the previous month's party. So, our outside orders. Okay, so if you had people shop with you the month before, you're going to reach out to them, you know, and say, hey, how are your products still working out? Everything's still good, no questions, no concerns. And you really do want to put it, you know, closer in to that 30-day mark, because 60 days is the cutoff for RMAs. So if they have a product and there's something wrong with it, like, you don't want to wait 3 months to to find out, because by that point you can't RMA it, and you're either going to have to replace it at your cost, for free. You're just going to have to give them one, or they're going to have to buy a whole new product, and they're not going to be happy about that. So 30 days is usually a pretty good point, because they've had the chance to use the product, and you still have time to RMA it if needed. Okay, and then week 4, the final week of the month, is going to be following up from 3 months, so like a quarter before. So like in January, I'll be following up with people who shopped and partied with me in just October. Does that make sense? And so every month you do the same thing, right? So you're just doing the same thing. So your goal is, did I reach out to these people? Yes, I did. Yay, I hit my goal. Okay. But the more you do this and the more consistently you do this, the more you're going to have outside orders. Okay. So if outside orders is something that you're wanting to boost, you need to make this your goal. You need to make doing these things your goal and following up. So the other action steps that I'm taking, every back order and every outside order that I get, I'm going to include a note or a coupon somewhere in there. It's going to say, take 10% off your next order. Okay, so those coupons are going to encourage them to shop with you again in the future. And 10% is not very much. It's really, really not. And but they feel like they just got this amazing gift, and they feel like you appreciate them as a client, which you do, because without clients you have no business. So treat them well. But yeah, you can just I write a handwritten thank you note with every outside order that I get, handwritten. And sometimes I have these little postcards. I don't know if I have any more left. I think I ran out. I just printed off little postcards, actually, using the Avery labels, or not the labels, but it's Avery brand, and they're just like a perforated postcard, and you can create it. You just print it off, and on one side it says, I really appreciate, customers like you, and then on the back it's blank, but I had printed out on the bottom, please take 10% off your next order, outside order with me. And then, but it's blank in the space, so I can write a thank you note. Or I just write it on the back of the order form. So if it's an outside order or a back order, you will have, well, if it's an outside order, you'll usually have both halves. And so when I send them their receipt, I always give them their receipt, I just write the little note on the back, Stacy, thank you so much for supporting my business. It really means so much to me. Please accept this gift of 10% off your next outside order with me. Expires, whatever. And then sign your name and boom, send it off, okay? One, they love that handwritten note because it shows you took time to actually put effort into thanking them, and they get so tickled by that. And two, they appreciate that little extra gift that you're gonna give them, and they'll be sure to come back and shop with you. And I have actually I've seen my outside orders increase because of doing this 10% off with their back orders. So if I do that consistently, I will see more outside orders. Okay. So I also have an auto ship program, and you can do an auto ship program. You don't have to. Basically, what auto ship is, every consultant does it a little bit differently. For the consumable products, the things that run out, I will give them a small discount. I have their billing on file, so they give me their card information, and I put it in a spreadsheet. And every time, and they can choose to have it shipped to them automatically every 30, 60, or 90 days. It's up to them. Excuse me. And then just on that month, whatever, if it's 60 days, when it's 60 days, I charge their card because I have it on file, and I charge tax and shipping as well, with the discount of the product, and I just automatically send it to them. So they don't have to worry about reordering. It's just automatic, okay? And the more people that you have doing your auto ship, the more you have guaranteed sales every single month, because that's guaranteed. They already said, yes, please, I want to buy this at every 30, 60, or 90 days. So for me, my action step is that I'm going to promote my auto ship in the first week of every month. because I feel that my clients and my followers probably don't know that it happened, and which is probably why I don't have very many people participating in my auto ship program. So every month, my action step is going to put it out there on Facebook and my newsletter, whatever. Hey, have you heard about my auto ship? Would you like your products at a discount? And just kind of break it down really quick. So it's just kind of just promoting it. And then also a monthly client newsletter, which will have maybe product specials or discounts, tips, articles, things like that. It's going to add value, but that's a whole other class. Okay, so those are the action steps. And then now for promoting. So for those of you, so we're going to be, let me see, how many minutes time? Oh, it's 8 o'clock. We're doing pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go over sponsoring and promoting and how you can do action steps for that if your goal is to build a team or reach a certain level. So for me, so here we go. Let's break this down again. So remember how we did for the sales, right? We found out what number ultimately do we need to hit to have, to have reached that goal. Okay, so if you're wanting to be senior consultant, you know that 3 is the ultimate number you have to hit to reach that goal. Now, as you promote to higher levels, you will need to have senior consultants in your downline as well. So it's more than just you recruiting. It's going to also be your team recruiting as well. So for me, I wrote it down. Let's see, what's it in here? I don't know what these numbers mean anymore. I've been working on this. Like, I have like this code. I don't even know. Okay, but that's not important. So, oh, that's what it is. So I needed to sign and activate 2 to reach my goal of director by the end of February. So I need to sign 2 and activate 1 per month is what I broke it down to. Like, you want to break things down into smaller steps if you can. So I was like, I want to sign 2. And act like this month, and then activate 1 in January and activate 1 in February, and that will get me to my goal. Okay. Then for my next goal of advanced director, I need to sign and activate 4 more. Plus, I need to have, my numbers are written correctly. I need to have 4. Sorry, guys. Yeah, 4 in my second downline, but I need at least 1 senior consultant as well. So the specifics aren't really that important, but what you need to know is that I broke it down into, like, I know exactly what it is that I needed to hit in order to reach that level. So action steps, right? Because I can't control who signs up and who activates and who decides after 10 days that they don't want to do this. I can't control that. All I can control is what I do. So the steps that I'm going to do to make my goal to ensure that I hit those, here we go, so I need to identify my future leaders. Okay, so again, because I want to hit that advanced director level, I need a senior consultant in my downline. So I need to find out who wants to be a senior consultant, because it's not based on my goals, it's based on their goals. I'm going to, so once I find out who it is, then I can work with them. I can find out what their goals are and help them achieve their goals. So that's my action steps. I'm going to do a show me the money for recruiting. So basically break down the money so that people who maybe weren't considering building a team can actually see what it will do for their life by building a team. I'm going to lead a recruiting boot camp so that the girls that on my team that do want to recruit know what to do. They have support, they have encouragement, they know what they're doing. I'm going to add 5 leads a week to my money train group. So if you don't know what what a money train group is, this is basically just a secret group that I have on Facebook. It's secret, it's not closed. It's secret, so nobody can search it because some people don't want other people to know what groups they're in. And also, I don't want people stealing my leads because some people are shady. But it's just a secret group where girls that are interested in the opportunity, I put them into this group with their permission, right? So I always say, hey, do you want me to add you to this group? Okay, because if you add people to a group without their permission, they're going to block you, delete you so fast, you're not going to know what happened. Okay, so don't do that. And I post kit specials, I post sign-on bonuses, I post FAQs about the business, I post pictures from team meetings, I post, look at my override check, I post, how much fun I had at a party, I post what the business did for me, I post what the business does for my sisters. So all these different things that are just kind of hitting all the different whys that a person might be interested in the business, and they can just kind of casually peek in there every now and then and see what's going on. And so that way when the time is right for them, they can make that choice. Okay, so that's my money train group. So my goal, my action step is to add 5 people, 5 leads a week into that group. Okay, so the more that grows, again, that's stacking the odds in my favor. And those leads, that means I have to ask people. Okay, so that means I have to get out there and say, hey, are you interested in the opportunity? Is this something you ever thought about doing? And if they say, well, maybe, let me think about it. Then I say, no problem. I'm going to put you in my money train group. Okay, it's easy. At a party, in the shopping room, when I'm offering the opportunity, because that's my next action step, is offer the opportunity to each guest at the party. Okay, in the shopping room, somebody might be like, nah, well, maybe, I'm not sure. No problem. Let me put you in my money train group. Okay, so that's how I'm going to get my 5 people a week. I'm going to offer the opportunity to my hostess during hostess coaching. So she actually gets it offered to her twice. I'm going to offer it to her once during hostess coaching, and then again in the shopping room at her party, right? Because you never know, her mind might change. By the time she sees how easy and how much fun doing a party is, she might be like, oh, I could totally do that, right? So always ask her, if you're asking her during hostess coaching, ask her again in the shopping room, okay? And then my other action step is to set up 2 video or coffee recruit interviews a week. Set them up. I'm not even saying they have to hold. Right now, for me, my focus is just setting them up, just getting into the habit of consistently setting up these recruit interviews. Okay. And then I also broke it down into my monthly overrides. I would like $1,000 at least in monthly override. So my overrides, so your overrides are based on your team's sales, right? So and again, I break it down by the numbers. Like, how much does your team need to do? Because this handy little guide shows you the percentage of what you make on your team. So you find out what number they have to hit for this percentage to equal the number that you want. And there's a super easy math thing, but I can't do math, so I don't know what it is. Okay. And then you, again, focus on the action steps of what you can do to help them, because again, you can't control their actions or what they're going to sell or if they're going to party. Okay, but for me, I'm going to do 2 demo videos a week in my team group, right? So I figure if I train my downline to be able to sell better, they will sell better. Okay, so when I'm doing what I can do to help them, then I can say, yes, I've reached my goal. Did I do my 2 weekly videos? Awesome, perfect, I reached my goal, right? I can feel good about that. I'm going to offer sales tips weekly, because again, if my team knows how to sell better, they will sell better, which means my override will be bigger, okay? I'm going to offer weekly calls to my downline to offer support and encouragement and give them tips, because if they don't feel like, they know where to go or they have questions, they're going to stagnate. They're not going to do well, and I want them to feel supported. Not just for the money. I do genuinely want my girls to feel supported, and I feel like everybody should feel supported in this business. Let's see. Oh, and then I'm going to offer different team incentives, different from what corporate offers. As a team leader, I want to reward my girls, and it will be mostly based on their goals and their level, because in sponsoring, we were talking about this morning on the huddle. When it comes to building a team and sponsoring, your goals don't matter. It doesn't matter what you want. It's all about that girl and what she wants for her business and her life. So the more you can focus on that and help her achieve that, the better you're going to do as a team leader and the more money you're going to make as a team leader. Okay, so by offering incentives that are based on their goals and what they want, they're going to be more likely to strive for those incentives, which means they're going to succeed more, which means you are going to succeed more. So yeah, so that is how I broke down my financial/business goals. And you can do this for any area of your life, okay? So if you have, you know, fun goals, like if your goal is to travel more, okay, where do you want to travel? What does traveling more look like? Be specific. How much money do you need to travel more? Okay, then again, break that down into those action steps. So you know, at the end of the day, you can look and say, did I reach my goal? Yes, because I know I did X, Y, Z. And that's all that matters, because the more you can consistently do these things, the more everything else is going to follow. Okay? So before I open this up for questions, I just want to say the second part, the part of what we're going to do in 2017 going forward to help people with this, to help you guys like stay on top of this and hold each other accountable and make this a little bit more fun, is we're going to do each month, we're going to have a monthly event. And in that event, there's going to be a weekly thread where you can declare what your goals are. So let me back up a little bit. So once you have these numbers and you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing and how often you're supposed to be doing it, this is why I said get a planner, a calendar. Black and white hard copy paper is really going to be the best for you to be able to visualize. So the way I did it, I'm just going to give you, and like your planner doesn't have to be fancy like this one. Since I have goals that are weekly and daily and monthly, I wrote that all down so I can keep track of it on here. This is a really nice planner because it does break it down. Like I have different things. So like I can keep track of, you know, how many people did I offer a party to? How many people did I ask for a referral in that day, right? And I could just quick reference it and look and see, did I reach my goal? Yes. I asked 5 people if they would like to host a party. Boom, done. Okay? And that way you're not getting overwhelmed, or I'm not getting overwhelmed. Like, do I feel like I have to sit on the phone for 4 hours trying to make phone calls? You know, you just make it super easy for yourself. Yes, put your goals in your planner. Oh my gosh, yes. People who write down their goals, there's a number, and I don't remember what that number is, but basically, like, you're super way more likely to actually achieve your goals by writing it down. Like, you're just write your goals down. But yes, I wrote mine down in my planner. And here's what's really cool too. So I added up all the numbers because this planner also has it like goals for the month. So when you add up all the numbers, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing consistently, for January, I will have offered a party to 155 people at least. Okay, because again, this is excluding people at a party. 155 people. How amazing is that to say, hey, 155 people I asked if they would book a party. Do you think I'll be booking some parties by asking that many people? You're damn sure. You're damn right I will be. Okay. I will have asked for a referral from 155 people by the end of January. I will have drank 31 bottles of water, which for some of you crazy health freaks are probably like, that's not much, but for me, that's a whole lot. I will have eaten 31 pieces of fruit because I have health goals as well, right? I will have eaten 31 veggie snacks. I will have paid off $2,596 of my debt. I will have listened to 25 hours of educational podcasts. I will have set up 10 coffee or radio recruit interviews, and I will have added 25 people to my Money Train group. That's 25 new recruit leads, okay? So when you add it all up, like, it really does. Let's see, Bria, I don't think of those things. I write my goals on paper usually. See, no, put it in your planner. Put it somewhere. Like, please put these goals where you're going to be able to have access to them, like, forever, or at least for the year. Yeah. Yeah, it's just because you want to be able to refer to these. So some of these goals, your goals will change depending on what they are as the year progresses. So if you're working for the Q1 incentive trip, too many spiral notebooks. I have so many left over from high school even. So if you're going for the Q1 incentive trip, like, the work, the action steps you're going to need to do to hit those numbers is going to be a little bit different than, you know, everything you're going to be doing from April to the end of the year, because your numbers are changing. Like, you don't have the same goals necessarily. So part of this is that each month we're going to have a new event. It'll be broken into the weeks within the event for everyone to declare what their goals are. So, and those goals, right, I don't want you guys to put your numbers, I want you to put your action steps, because we can't hold each other accountable for hitting numbers that are based a lot on other people agreeing to do things for us. Does this make sense? Okay, so I think it's better to keep each other accountable by saying, okay, like, did you reach your goal of making 50 phone calls this week, or whatever your goal is? And when you say, yes, I reached my goal of 50 phone calls, then, you know, that feels good for you. You could be like, I reached my goal. I set my goal and I reached it. And that's so empowering and so motivating. So what we're going to do with these events is that each week it'll be a declaration, and then we'll follow up and, okay, who hit their goals? And people can provide feedback. It's going to be really cool, but there's going to be a new one every single month throughout the whole year. And I'm going to have this recording in the event, so that way people can refer back to it if they need tips, and as new girls get added to the events. So I think that's all I have to say. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up to questions. So if you have questions, please go ahead and ask them. Hopefully this made sense. Oh, thanks, Lori Sue. Oh, you guys can unmute yourselves if you have questions too. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I came in at last minute, so I really didn't get to hear everything. So you want us to make a planner that has accountability for every goal that we make?
It doesn't, I mean, you don't have to make like a planner. You can use just paper and pencil.
Okay.
It's just a way, like, this is what works for me, right? Everybody's different. So if you are better with like your calendar and your phone, like, by all means, like, do that. But it's really just to provide that visual so you can look at a glance, okay, what are my goals? What action steps do I need to do today or this week to keep me on track for hitting the goal that I set for myself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I keep everything in this binder paper stuff here.
Yeah, see,
this is kind of like my Bible here.
Right.
So okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. If that's what works for you, then like keep doing what works for you. Don't, you know.
Okay.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, good question.
Okay, my question is, you're talking about going after, 5 new party leads a week, etc. But I was, for some reason it's not clicking in my brain, or maybe it is, I'm just overthinking. You're talking about offering the opportunity to 5 new people a week outside of parties. So you're going to basically go about that the same way you would go about looking for like party leads, just kind of like talking to people that you run into places and things like that.
Yeah. So for me, this is going to require that I'm having consistent conversations with people and ongoing conversations with people. This is going to be me keeping my eye out on social media for somebody who posts something where it looks like the business opportunity could help them. That's really all it is. I mean, and it's just adding them to the group. If every day they decide, nah, I'm really not interested. Okay, it's cool. But I did what I was supposed to do, and I can feel good about that.
Right. I really like this whole idea of kind of just making our goals more task oriented than like destination oriented.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot less intimidating. Like, okay, I'm going to sell $1,000 this week.
Right.
Now I'm going to talk to 5 people today and 5 people tomorrow. And really, if you think about it on that scope, you're talking about 3 different things. You're talking about, okay, 5 people a day about a booking, 5 people a day about a referral, 5 people a day about just about the opportunity in general. Like you can you can really kind of do all that in one fell swoop, because you can ask those people the same questions. You don't have to go after 15 people a day. Now, if you do, you're gonna have even better results. But
Exactly.
and that's whether they say yes or no, and that's inside of parties or outside of parties. Just because they say, yeah, I'd love to have a party, you don't have to stop there and be like, okay, cool. Do anybody else?
Mhm.
You were interested? Really cool. What about your BFF? How is she? Is she cool? Do you think she'd like to do this with you?
Right.
So like not out of the box thinking. It's just stagnant brain deadness. I think that sometimes we forget
Yeah.
things so much harder than they really are.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This just really simplifies it. Because, I mean, you think of it, like, if you bring it back to, like, the Google Maps, analogy, it's like, I have to get from here to Canada, and, like, if all you're thinking is, somehow I have to get to Canada.
Oh my God.
Somehow I have to get
Canada.
to Canada. I mean, you might end up going all over the place, and you end up somewhere in, like, Mexico. Like, but you worked really hard. But
you got nowhere.
Right, exactly. And I think that when we're just striving to just hit numbers and we're just so numbers focused, that's exactly what happens.
Yep.
But if you focus instead on, okay, well, I have to get on this route. I have to take this turn. I have to get on this highway. As long as you do that consistently, you're going to end up in Canada. That's just natural laws of nature, So I'm really
You're a
digging.
smart lady. You're a very smart lady.
Oh, thanks. Who else has some questions for me? Who else needs me to like clarify any points? Because I feel like some ideas may have gotten kind of, as I was trying to explain.
That's what I got on my notes. It never even occurred to me to just randomly ask people, hey, why don't I just add you to this? If they're like just people who are like just on the very like tiniest little bit of a whisper of thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It never occurs to me like, why don't I just add you and you can watch for a while, and if you hate it, you can leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have like the same 30, 40 people in my group that have been there forever. And probably like months ago, I sent out this whole like, I messaged every single one of them. I was like, okay, hey, just checking in. Do you still want to be in the group? I don't want to annoy you, but I'm just letting you know, you're not stuck. If you're not interested at all, I'm happy to take you out, or you can take yourself out anytime. And like the vast majority didn't even respond to that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Just let you sit in there then. Maybe one day something will click.
Right. It's the numbers game. That's the numbers part, and really, again, why you want to focus on what you're doing, because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's just,
that is so true in every single aspect of life.
Yeah. And so it's better to just focus on where you have control. Oh, thank you. Oh, Brianna, you are so welcome. Oh, well, I'm so welcome. I'm so welcome. I'm so glad you're so welcome. Yeah. So I'm really glad. Like, I really hope this helps you guys.
Very, very cool. You are the woman. You are the woman.
Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll go ahead and stop the recording. We'll go ahead and end the Zoom. And if you guys...
Oh, this whole time I was like, I forgot I could unmute myself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Anyways, so I listened to almost all of it, but of course I couldn't process because I wasn't taking notes. But do you have like pictures of like all your plan breaking down before putting it in your calendar that you could show?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Hold on. Like your picture, like your outline of breaking it all down before you wrote the calendar.
Yeah.
That you could,
yeah, I mean, I can show you. That's really the...
I just need to see your chicken scratch because I need to make my chicken scratch go into that.
Yeah, I can totally post that. Oh, here it is. Yeah, because it was 4 pages worth of chicken scratch.
No, yeah, it's fine. I can decipher it. I just need to see it so I know where to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And so you guys can all see my numbers and my goals.
Well, if you want, I can like, if you want to send it to me, I can make like a fake one up to post so you don't have to share yours.
Oh, no, it's fun. I got nothing to hide. Maybe by other people seeing my numbers and seeing what I have to do, that will help keep me accountable, because you guys can be like,
maybe
you do what you said you were going to do. Yeah. So. Anybody else have questions? No. Okay. Oh, let me see.
I remuted myself. Oh, so I just wanted to say, not really a question, but just thank you again too, because just to reiterate how honestly, like the greatest success key is consistency.
Mhm.
And this is something I struggle with all the time. Like I'll go for a while and I've never really had anybody lay out for me like a structure, but I'll like do, I'll finagle some way of something for a while and then I never seem to be able to keep up with it. But I really appreciate this because it's really, it's like a different perspective. Kind of like we were talking about Stephanie earlier today, like kind of looking at things from a different angle. And the whole two things, the one thing with breaking it down in such a way that it looks like we're focusing on the process and not the result is a big thing.
Mhm.
But just having it, an idea of what to do on a daily basis. And like, I'm going to make a sign over my desk that says, I can't control it all, but this is what I can control. And then dun, 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 dun. Because it is frustrating, like, as a team leader and as a consultant, you look at your parties, you look at your hostesses, you look at your team, you're like, okay, it's out of my hands. Like I can't help what happens, but there is a lot I can help and make things happen or not happen based on my behaviors and my actions. So big time. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you are so welcome. And if anybody wants a book, two book recommendations that kind of go along a little bit with this is going to be The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's kind of what started to jumpstart. Allie, you're amazing. That's kind of what jump-started this train of thought that I had, because the beginning of the book, it talks about your area of control and your area of concern. And when your area of concern is bigger than your area of control, that's when problems start happening, and that's when things start breaking down, and that's when you stop being effective in your own life.
In everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And so, when it comes to business and reaching our goals and whatever, I mean, not just business, when your area of focus is within your area of control, then things work better. Things work with that harmony, because you're not worried about everything else that's happening out here. You're worried about what's in here and what you can control. And then the other book is going to be, it's got a really long title. Let me grab it real quick from my bookshelf. This is the Future Leaders book, 15 Secrets Successful People Know About Time Management. So this is what it looks like. And your calendar is going to be like your best friend or your planner or however you're keeping track of this. Because if you put things on a to-do list, they don't get to done. They just get to built up, and then you get overwhelmed. But if you actually schedule these things that you need to do, like say you're like, oh, I have to go drop off products or I have to go to the post office. If you just write it down on your list, you might get to the post office in 4 days, But if you go and look at your calendar and because you've scheduled out everything else, and you say, okay, I have 15 minutes here in this hour, boom, I'm scheduling going to the post office. And so that way, as your notifications or your alerts pop up, it's like, boom, time to go to the post office. Okay, cool, I'm going to go to the post office. And then you don't have to feel anxious or worried about, like, am I neglecting something else, or should I be spending time with family or whatever, because you've already scheduled that time. You've already scheduled in your family time. You've already scheduled in time to do your hostess coaching or take a nap or whatever it is. So, and that's one of the biggest things that I learned. Why are you laughing, Larissa?
No, I'm saying naps.
Yeah.
I pulled all dayers all week, and I'm like, I'm crashing.
But, that was one of my biggest takeaways from this. But this thing just has so many fantastic tips, just so many. And so when it comes to having these action steps, because some of them do require time, schedule it in so when it is you're contacting your hostesses, or when it is that you're scheduling your recruit interviews, or whatever. So they really do go hand in hand together. So it's my last little tidbit there. So okay, well, I think I have used up enough of your guys' time, I thank you guys so, so, so much for jumping on here with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys learned something and got something out of this. If you have any questions after this that pop up, because that always happens to me, go ahead and just post them in the event or tag me in the group or message me directly, and I am more than happy to respond. Or I'm going to upload this to YouTube if YouTube will let me. And I'm also, well, no, I'll just upload it to YouTube, because then I can share the link within the group and in the event. So that way you guys can replay it. And then what else?
Awesome.
I think that's it. So, all right, ladies. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, share it with others. Yeah, however.
Thank you, baby.
You're so welcome. All right, ladies. Well, you guys have a fantastic night. Get working on those goals. I'm excited to see what you guys plan for yourself for 2017, because we are all going to have an amazing 2017. So, all right. Bye, guys.